Introduction to pronominal suffixes. In the last chapter we saw pronominal suffixes on le and b, and we used le as our paradigm. So we had lo, la, lecha, lach, li, lahem, lahen, lachem, lachen, lanu, if you remember. What we're going to look at now in this chapter are pronominal suffixes on nouns. So I can find my cursor here. So if we have a noun, we can also add the pronominal suffixes on the ends of nouns. So this is our noun, this is our suffix, just like we had with le. Let's say lo, for instance. This was the pronominal suffix and this was le. What we'll find here is that when you add them to nouns, there are some changes. Changes to the pronominal suffix. And you have two sets of them. So you have one set for singular nouns, so singulars, whether they're masculine or feminine, it's the same set. And you have another set for masculine, feminine, plural nouns. Okay. Now, one thing you have to keep straight as we're moving through this chapter is that we have masculine and we have singular and plural on the noun, and we also have singular and plural on the suffix. So I'll try to be explicit as I go through to make sure that you can follow this, but make sure you understand which we're talking about. Maybe I should give an example of this. We have singular and plural here, and we have singular and plural here. Okay? So, for instance, actually, before I say that, let me say this. The way you translate the pronominal suffix on a noun is as a possessive. And I gave you this before. Remember beto? Bait. This was the beto meaning his house. Okay? So, similarly, we have suso. Suso would be his horse. And we'll use sus as our paradigm for the masculine nouns here anyway. So, you can have his horse, which is singular suffix, singular noun, or we could talk about his horses, so then we have a singular suffix and a plural noun, or we could talk about our horse, so we have a plural suffix and we have a singular noun, or we could talk about our horses. So there we have plural, plural. Both are plural. So just be aware you have number on both pieces here. Okay, now I said we have one set. We have one set for the singular nouns, and we have another set for the plural nouns. And they are related to what we've already studied. There are some differences, but you'll certainly recognize them. And then what we'll find as well is that there's change to the base form here, to the noun, in the feminine singulars. What happens is the a ending, if there's an a ending, it goes to at, really just like the construct. Remember the construct went to at? We'll cover that in detail, but just so you know where we're going. So we'll take a look at each of these individually. First masculine singular, then feminine singular, then masculine plural, then feminine plural, and then I'll have one more module and I'll summarize it and tell you what you should memorize, what would be the most efficient way to learn this. So it's going to get a little bit heavy in terms of detail, but I'll summarize it in that last module there, that fifth module, after we go through these four sets.